Hey guys, my name is Zoe, and today I'm going to be discussing what I learned and found interesting, what I would like to learn more about, and then my 3 questions. So, to start, we're going to go over what I learned in this chapter. Most of these would also be found under the interesting part, but I had to split it up. One of the first bits that I learned was the expansion of the universe and the matter that is in it. Next, I've always loved Marianas Trench, but I didn't realize it was 11,000 meters or 6.85 miles deep, which is crazy because I can drive my car 6 miles in like 10 minutes or less. The hydrological cycle is also a topic that we discussed in this first chapter. Next, learning that the Earth is 4.5 to 4.6 million years old is so cool because they use isotopes for radiometric dating to find the age of the Earth. Finally, I read that the moon takes 27 and 1/3 days to orbit the Earth, and along with that, how the smallest changes in the tides can have terrible effects on the land. There are many cool things in this chapter that I found interesting, so some were listed in the part above this, of course. One thing that I thought was really cool, though, was during the creation of the universe, only 4.6% of that was the normal matter, but 24% is dark matter, which is sort of crazy. Next, I always thought latitude and longitude just represented like where you are on the Earth. And then I learned they are for time and that each degree is equal to 60 minutes. Which can of course be broken down into, seconds and all that. Then looking at these lines looking at the latitude and longitude lines on like a globe would make you assume that the Earth is a sphere, but it's a trick. The Earth is stretched at its poles, so it's more like an oval than it would be a sphere. Next, Europa and Callisto. I always knew they were there, and I knew they were moons, but I didn't know about their oceans. Maybe, I don't think it said they had an atmosphere, I don't remember, but it would be really cool because maybe in those oceans there's like tiny anaerobic life or something like that. That would be really cool because then like there'd be more life in the universe than just us. And maybe, be like how Mars might have had life at one point because they also saw, oceans on Mars. There are many things that I would like to learn more about, but from this chapter, I would like to know how the water cycle is, affected by pollution and the trash, like plastic and all that in there, because it has to be affected somehow. But I would love to know how. Next, I would love to know how the different tides affect animals. So, like the little tiny fish in the sea, what happens when the tide goes like all the way out and then comes back in, like in the picture there, how the tide is like gone and then it comes back. Finally, I would like to learn more about the evolution of the ocean animals. So, like the ones all the way at the bottom of the ocean, all the way like in the Marianas Trench and by the those like really hot areas, like those underwater volcano sort of things, like the thermal vents. And just learning how they evolved to be able to deal with those super high temperatures and those super high pressures. Because, that's honestly crazy. Because, we wouldn't be able to stand that, and any animal up here really wouldn't either. And then to finish this discussion, I have my 3 questions. The first one would be, does the hydrological cycle affect the ocean animals? Because, like, water is taken up. I don't know if it would. It might a little bit. But, like, maybe the ocean animals that sit on the top of the water, maybe? The next, I would like to know, since there was no free oxygen on planet Earth until the photosynthetic organisms evolved, does that mean the only creatures like that were here were like anaerobic? Or like were there like oxygen creatures that made oxygen in the oceans, or was like that just land? And then finally, we learned that the universe is expanding, and I would just want to know, do you think it'll ever stop and just like, I guess implode, like go back to being small? I'd just like to start reducing basically. And that's it. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you have a good day and can answer my questions. Bye!